washing day here today. We normally wash the trucks every week, but it's springtime. They've been in the garage all winter long, so they're full of dust, and it's the last thing that we do before we get started. Next week we're going to get started, hopefully even this week. Supposed to be some beautiful days this week, so we're going to be getting started pretty soon. So the last thing we do is wash and wax and detail the trucks. Today's that day, and I always get a lot of questions on the trucks and the vehicles, trailers, how we keep them maintained as we do. So this video is going to be about that, how we do it, what we do. First, we wash it. We use we'll go through some of the equipment and the materials we use, and we'll go from there. All right, let's get started. Okay, guys, let's get ready, get this started. What we use this long-handled soft bristle brush for doing all of our washing on the trucks. Really comes in handy. We usually take off the aluminum handles on them and switch it over to the wood handle. I don't like using the wood handle, so we try to stay away from that. As for the soap that we use, I just use Dawn. I use this dishwashing solution, and I've been washing since I was a little kid, and this is what's always worked well for us. And if it's good enough to wash the little ducts after an oil spill, then it's good enough to wash my trucks, and it really does a good job. Foams up really nice. I am a Mother's California Gold guy. I've always been. I really like their products. I'm sure there are better. I have used others through the years. I've done mail order. I've gone through everything. McGuire's. There's like I said, a few other mail order companies that I've tried to buy from that I really just wasn't impressed. I just keep going back to Mother's. It goes on smooth, it comes off smooth, and I like it. It's good. We use these microfiber cloths and applicators so that it goes on fairly easy. I like using those, and the microfiber cloth, whichever ones are on sale, I think they're pretty much all kind of the same. Some a little better than others, but I don't get too fussy with that. Any tough scratches, I'll use the Finesse It 2, or is that 2? It's good for taking out the fine scratches that we end up getting on the trucks. It takes them right out and does a good job with that. Glass, I use the Stoner products I use Invisible Glass for Stoner products. And I use also the More Shine tire finish. I like that too. On the interiors, I like to spray in the air freshening Armor All. Keeps it nice and clean, and nice and smelling nice inside the trucks as well. When things get really greasy, like on the backhoe or the Bobcat, or in the engine compartments of the trucks, I like using Super Clean, and I mix up Super Clean into this 2.5 gallon mixer, and from concentrate, and we use that like that. So those are some of the materials we use, and we'll get back to work. All right, thank you. All right, so here we get started. We're going to use the hand hose end nozzles. Enjoy using that, better than pressure washers or anything like that on the painted surfaces. So nice and delicate with the hose end nozzles. We get to rinse off the trucks first before we put any kind of soaps or anything. Make sure there's no heavy amounts of dirt or mud. Like I said prior, we use these bristle brushes, soft bristle brushes. They do a really good job cleaning it, and it's pretty quick, pretty easy to get going with it. That's the way we choose to do it. So after we do the painted surfaces, we get on the wheels and tires. Like Joe's using right there with that handheld soft bristle brush. Does a really good job on the wheels. And we have that more coarse brush for the tires. And it's just a really good way of going about doing, keeping those tires and those wheels looking as shiny as possible. It's just a a delicate way of doing it. So shortly he'll show you again. He's going to get that nice hard bristle brush. Because sometimes when we go to the dump or the material yards, I mean, you guys know, the tires do get muddy, the tires do get dirty, but like I've always, I tell people all the time, as long as the tires and the wheels are clean, the rest of the truck kind of looks clean. And it's true. Um, we do use the Stoner products for keeping the tires shiny. It really looks nice. I mean, the trucks aren't they're not brand new. They're not perfect trucks, but they're in good shape. I don't like pimping them out too much, just enough just to keep them nice and clean. So after they're all washed, then we do this. We use a backpack blower. Um, Backpack blower to take off all the water off the painted surfaces, off the wooden surfaces, anything plastic. We get the water off from that way. Reason being is the chamois take too long, and the chamois never take everything off. Like I said earlier, I'm a classic car guy, and I don't like water spots on the paint, especially like in that area right there where the handle is. Water will kind of drip down that and make a funny line down the paint. So anything to stop that, I'm fine with. So here we see Joe really getting in detail, laying in the wax with the wax applicator around those black plastic areas. Around those black plastic areas, you get a little bit of that wax on there, and it sticks and has a hard time getting off. And also on the vinyl lettering, I don't like to wax over the vinyl lettering. I know some guys do, but waxing over the vinyl lettering, there's always a little bit of a haze on there, and it has a hard. And if it dries too hard, it has a hard time getting off. So we try to get a little bit of detail on when we're putting the wax on, and see him using those nice circular motions. Um, and here comes John cleaning up afterwards. We use lights all around when we're putting the wax on the trucks, because the lights highlight the wax. I mean, right there is a good example of how it shows off what's been applied and what has not. So you're not missing anything, so you're not leaving anything behind. It's really easy to leave wax behind, especially on the black plastics and small little nooks and crannies. So here's another example of how nice it is to be able to for the lights, how it shines off of the wax, and how it accentuates where it is and where it hasn't been. And two good guys right there, John and Joe. The guy John on the left, you haven't met him yet. He's been with us for I think he's on his 10th year now. Um, Great guy. So here I am taking on a little bit of a project because as it comes out, this step that I got a little bent last year. Not sure how. Probably right towards the end of the year, got a little. You can tell on the left side there, it's just not square anymore. So easy little job. We can take the bolts off, remove it, and try to straighten it out. That's a rubber gasket I made out of liner, pond liner, and you can tell right there. There's a few scratches on the steel and a little bend. So I'm gonna go put that in the vise and see if we can straighten it out a little bit. I'm not really a steel worker. I mean, I'm a kind of a hack when it comes to welding, but I do mess with it a little bit, and you know, just take this with a grain of salt. I'm not teaching anybody how to do anything. I'm sure a lot of guys out there know how to do this kind of work better than I do, but it's a little project that I had to do because unfortunately things like that bother me, and I don't like to have you know things not looking right and not being right on the truck. So right here I'm just taking a you know pipe wrench, which obviously was the wrong size. I get the bigger one. The big one's going to be better, and we can give it a little bit of a bend there at the bottom with the pipe wrench, and check the square, and you can tell there it's not quite there yet. It's not really well straightened out yet. So I'm going to give it a couple of more bends, a couple of more turns, hit it with the hammer a couple of times, and you know, eventually it doesn't end up too bad, as you can tell right there. So just give it a couple more tutsis, and now we can go sand it and paint it, and that's it. Okay, so we're back from sanding and painting it. I forgot to video that part of the process, but just removing the masking tape now, and we'll start putting this thing back together again. So put that rubber gasket back on there so that it doesn't mar up and scratch up the paint behind it. And we'll get the bolt, set it up, and we'll put it back on. These little projects, it didn't come out perfect. I'd have to really disassemble it, heat it up, and really straighten it out. But it's within acceptable tolerances. So so this is what we have. So just put the bolts back on, and we'll put it back on there again. It's funny when we're putting these things back together again, how many bolts get lost and can't find things, and no matter how much you plan and how much you try to do it right, there's always something missing. So that's what I'm doing right now, is looking for the bolt. And somewhere I found it. So we got it. We'll put it back in, and we'll get that impact gun back on there, cinch it up, and we'll call this one finished. And that's that. So put that wrench on the back, snug it up, keep going across to the next one. I think I was having a little bit of trouble with that impact gun on that first one. That one, and go to the last one, and that's it. Didn't come out too bad. All nice and straightened out, and we'll call that one done. So now we get on to the finishing touches here. So I get the tire dressing. We go all the way around all the trucks. Try to put the black to black on all the black parts of the truck to shine it up, and make sure the wheels all polished up, all the wheels all polished up, and you know, that's basically it. I mean, the trucks get a good cleaning every week, washing and tires and wheels, underbody every week. Sometimes more than once a week. So if the truck gets dirty in the morning, I'll wash it at night, even though we had just washed it the day before. It doesn't make a difference to me. So here's a little walk around of the truck, how it came out. It really comes out pretty good. We are pretty diligent on the trucks. We don't let the guys walk on the sides. It's kind of dangerous. You can slip on those sides. So that's why we put those steps in there. Keeps the sides of the truck from scratching up too bad, and it keeps the guy safe climbing in and out just by one spot on the truck. This is an NRR Isuzu. It holds about 19,500 pounds. It's a 2008, and we built it I think 3 years ago. So it's holding up really good. It's a good truck. So thanks a lot. I'm glad you guys watch it. If you like it, let me know, subscribe, and we'll be talking to you real soon. Thank you very much.